When it comes to PvP, building bases is essential to surviving on servers, which is why I proudly present top 10 PvP tips to building on ASA. Alrighty, so coming up first is this little layout. Now this is how you pretty much get your foundations leveled out with your Dedi storages. So this is like Dedi floors. It only works on a flat area, a surface like this. I mean, it can work kind of, but it's a little tricky. So this can really only be built on a flat surface. I don't think you can really do this with ceilings, so it's really only done with foundations. So let me go ahead and show you exactly how to do it. So first, what you're gonna do is start over here. You're gonna get your foundation, and then you're gonna do this. And then with your arrow keys on keyboard and then Xbox and PlayStation, I honestly don't know. You're going to want to go all the way down where it's flat and then go ahead and place one. Now what you're going to want to do is get your railings. All right, like I said, get your railings, place one and then two just like that one. So once you have that, go ahead and place your foundations like this and then a ladder right here. It doesn't really matter how you do it, just get your ladder even with the railings. Look about, I would say, middle and then climb off of it. Do not move at all, for at least for your camera. And then you're going to want to line up your foundation like this, place it, and with your arrow keys move it up to where it's exactly equal with that railing. Now once you have this, you're honestly pretty much done. So you can go ahead and start putting your Dedi storages on it like this if you really wanted to. And as you can see, they are perfectly flush, or almost perfectly flush. I mean, it's off by like a couple centimeters, but you do not notice it when you walk. That's the most important part. So let's go ahead and build a little Dedi floor so I can actually show you guys, you know, what it looks like as a Dedi floor. All right, and then after you're done, it should look something like this. As you can see, it sits perfectly flush. You literally can't even notice it when you walk on top of it, meaning it's perfect for any crafting station. It just blends perfectly in with your foundations, making for a pretty easy to make and pretty simple Dedi storage floor. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. If you're looking for a great alternative to coffee or just a way to get you going in the morning, Mitra is definitely the way to go. Now, back to the video. And up next is how to do your cryo floors. Now this one's a little bit more complicated, so just bear with me. It's going to sound very confusing at first. Anyways, let's get this thing started. So as you can see, you're going to want to do the exact same method, get it as flat, as flush down to the ground as possible. Then again, come up here. Then you're going to want to do this. It's basically like an extra snap point where you can snap it one foundation higher. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. Then afterwards, you're going to add your railings again. It's going to have this little tiny gap underneath it. Make sure that it has that gap. If it doesn't, this isn't going to work. Then, you know, to get that to work, you're going to want to get on your ladder, you know, do the same method, line your stuff up afterwards. And then it should look something like this. This looks very confusing, just bear with me. Alright, so first off, you're going to want to get your foundation, do that same method, go all the way down. Then you're going to want to do this until you see this snap point right here. Now once you see that snap point, you know that you're doing something right. Now go ahead and switch to your railings, do your railings like this. The snap point's a little tricky to get. Get it right there. As you can see, you got that nice little gap underneath. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get the ladder, make sure that it's flush with that bottom layer. Yep. As you can see, make sure it kind of goes in it a little bit. Perfect. Oh, I messed it up. If that happens, you got to redo it. And then go ahead and get it up to that first layer. I'm going to do it slightly higher this time as it was off. Place again. Boom. That's how you do it. Now double check before you start doing anything. As you can see, that's pretty much perfect. You can't get it any better than that, honestly. That's the best placement. Now you're going to want to go ahead and put down a quarter ceiling, which to do this, you have to put down your ceiling like this first. Then you're going to get your quarter ceiling, snap it right there. Now you're going to want to get your cryo ceilings. Your cryo fridges, not cryo ceilings. Cryo ceilings, that'd be kind of cool. Anyways, get your cryo refrigerators, make sure that they line up. As you can see, that's pretty much perfect. These are slightly too high, but it doesn't really matter. Then after that, get your ceiling, put it on the snap point of your quarter ceiling, just like this. Then you're going to want to test it out. As you can see, everything functions flawlessly right there. This is getting it snapped to the ground. This has always been a pain for me, so I'm going to show you how to do this. I want to pick that up, and then this doesn't really matter anymore. You can get rid of this. Wait, verify. Okay, that does matter. Hold on. Okay, now you're gonna need to snap a foundation somehow onto that ceiling out front of it. Make sure it's flush with that. It should be the same level as those. Now you can get rid of this. There we go. As you can see, it doesn't affect it. And then now you're left with this. So it should look something like this. Let's do a big one just to show you guys how to actually build a proper cryo floor. Alright, and after this, it should look something like this. As you can see, it's a very, very simple thing to do. It's just getting that first foundation snap that is the hardest thing. But yeah, overall, pretty simple to build. Next up, we have this layout. Now this layout is something a little bit different, but it's really simple and should be on every single base. So as you can see here, these are pillars. These are small pillars, which you cannot see at all. And these are the big pillars. Now the big pillars really poke out, they kind of get in the way, and you can kind of outline of sight certain areas. But let me show you why these are actually more overpowered. I mean, either way, each of the pillars, they both work the same. It's the same thing. So for example, let me set up 2 different bases, and then I'll show you guys one with pillars and one without pillars. So let's set this up based off of like, you know, a 3 times base. I mean, a 3 times base, a 3 wall base. Like 3 walls wide, 3 walls high. So let's do 5 again. Let's blow it up. Now, as you can see, it only takes out this one little portion, which still leaves this wall and this wall. And so, you know, instead of that little layout, it actually just helps you out here and leaves a little bit more. Let's blow it up. As you can see, it damages every single wall in the corner here. Versus having pillars, it does literally no damage. It does no damage to any of this stuff, even these pillars. Meaning, you know, if somebody was gonna try to get into your base, yes, they can still get in with the same amount. However, it stops them from basically wiping out an entire wall, you know, getting some dinos inside. So yeah, building pillars definitely does help out a lot. Just I would highly recommend the small pillars as you cannot see them at all. Alrighty, now coming up next is this little layout. It's super simple. All you do is place a foundation in front of your main base area. Like this would be your main base area, but instead adding an extra foundation layer. Now some may argue that turrets can be outline of sight here, meaning if, you know, if a player crouches down, they can be outline of sighted, but to be completely honest with you, not really. This only works if you're basically like on a cliff or something and parts of your base are higher than the other section, like this part would be higher than this part. Then yes, then your turrets will be outline of sight from your player. Now I'm going to show you the difference with getting rid of, basically for trying to raid this base from getting in with these compared to not having any. So for example, you know, you have easy access to your foundations, meaning you can just put down your 5C4 and get right into the base. As you can see, gets you right in here. So for example, you know, let's say that they have some kind of form of layering on these walls right here, which I'll get to over there in a second. But yeah, let's say that they had some layering and it's hard to get into the side here and you got to get in through here. As you can see, boom, you're in the base. It's that simple. Versus this layout. As you can see, you have to destroy these foundations right here, which automatically will just make the average player go for your main walls anyways. That's kind of the goal with this. As you can see, it'll blow that up. It's a bad example because it's a door. The doors are just super weak as well as that. But yeah, it does damage these quite a bit as well. But as you can see, they have to basically get in here. It just adds an extra form of layering right here. Yes, it might sound stupid, but it does actually help. It just forces people just to have to basically just go for your walls. Just adds an extra little layer of C4 that they have to blow up to get into your base. Which for PvP, every single bit of layering does matter. Alright, now up next we have layering. Now layering is something that you do onto a base to make it a lot more overpowered. So for example, this is a 3x3, and then with 2 ceilings high. As you can see, you have 3 doors just to get into the main base. And this is all done with triangle foundations. As you can see, it adds all these extra layers onto the base, meaning that you have to get rid of at least two of these walls to get in, unless you're on these corners. These corners are your only weak spots, which is why I'm going to show you one of these designs, and basically a different layout. So yeah, this one is not terrible. It's not too hard to get in, but it is still kind of tricky to get in. It just adds an extra little bit of layering. Just know building these corners is always a pain. I've always struggled to build these flat bases like this, which is why I'm going to show you how to do it with a triangle base. These are way more effective. They're way easier to build. Okay, I wouldn't say easier to build, but they look better. They're more effective. There's no weak spots on these things at all, as well as I did this little, you know, foundation layering around it. So yeah, as you can see, they have to take out at least 2 walls minimum just to get in here. Actually, no, that would be 3 walls. My bad. So yeah, this is really honestly how you want to build a base if you're going to be doing layering like this. It still adds a extra amount of room onto this base, so you're able to, you know, just walk in here and you still have some room. So yeah, let me go ahead and just show you guys what rating these would be like. So for example, you know, you gotta get your walls in here. I'm gonna do 3 this time, because yeah, 3 is technically the average that you need, and 3 more, and then you have to do it again. Technically that was 3, and then boom, then you're in the base just like that. Now if you do it on here, let's do it from right here. 1, 2, and 3. Blow that thing up. Now the inner layer would be this one. Well, the sub layer would be that. Then your inner layer. And then boom, you're in the base. So yes, it is simple, but with turrets and stuff that are actually trying to defend a player from running in here, it's going to be a pain, as you have to take out 3 layers compared to, you know, your just main 1 layer that you would have on your average base. Again, this is your only weak spot with these, so I would highly recommend not building these. I'm just showing you guys the difference. This is how your base actually should be looking. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, and up next, this is a very simple one, but actually I've seen a lot of people that do not know how to do this, and that's building super close with like indie forges, fabricators, chem edges, all that good stuff. This only works on servers where you have the collision presets on, and I'll show you guys how to do it. It's just super simple. So all you're gonna need is some foundations. I recommend doing this 3 wide. I'm gonna go ahead and just build it the exact same layout as this one. Alright, now once you have this built, all you need to do is get your indie forges, enable snapping, have it face a certain way. For example, I'm going to do it like this way, that way. And then as you can see, it will snap like this. It's something that's super simple that a lot of people don't know how to do. And then for crafting stations, this is kind of a big deal because it saves you a ton of room. So as you can see, without snapping, this is the closest that you're able to get an indie forge. It's way too far. You have no room to do anything else. It just takes up all of your room. And boom, just like that, you're taking up what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what? 9 foundations compared to, oh, I don't know. You could only put 3 indie forges on here. Yeah, just a nice little super simple tip that not a lot of people do know. Experienced players know this, but a lot of new players don't. Up next is another super simple tip, which I've seen not a lot of people actually use. This is something that a lot of people don't really mess with, but I figured that this is actually really good for like a compact base. Now this does work on official, so this one will be working on official, except for you gotta be careful with how you do that because that might mess it up. But yeah, as you can see, it barely fits. This one was a little bit higher than I wanted it, but it just sits as low as it physically can so that you're able to access both of your fabricators from the same area. If you're encumbered and you gotta move, really slowly, this actually makes a massive difference on your base. So let me go ahead and show you how to do this. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and place your foundation, except this time, don't sink it. Now you're gonna wanna get your railings, place your railings like this, and put one down onto the ground. Then you're gonna wanna go ahead and get your ladder concepts thing, and get onto the ladder, hop off of it, you're gonna press it, and then you're gonna sink it halfway. Now by halfway, I mean you're going to want to probably do it about a little bit above that first line. It's a little tricky to get it. I'm just going to do it, yeah, right there. Press place. As you can see, it should look something like this. So it should be about in between those 2 bars. Now you're going to want to go ahead and pick all of this stuff up. Leave this foundation. And then go ahead and build like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave this to build a couple extras right here. Doesn't really matter on the ramps, I just kind of did that as a nice little like aesthetic thing. Go ahead and get your walls, and you're going to want to place your walls like this. So let's go ahead and put down the first fabricators. There you go. So now they should sit like this. Boom, boom. Oh, 5 and 6. So there you go. I fit about 6 right there. And then as you can see, your ceiling, like I got that one a lot tighter than I did with that one. And there you go. It's simple as that. And as you can see, you're able to access all of your fabricators just like that. It's a nice little simple trick. Not a lot of people do know. They get your fabricators super close for like a compact base, so you're able to actually craft a lot of stuff all at once. Up next, we have probably one of the weirdest ones on this list. Now this is completely from Kviden or Kviden. I will admit I did take this from him. It's just such a good idea that I had to put it in this video. Now anyways, he's figured out how to make foundations sit sideways. I know that sounds really weird, but yeah, they're completely sideways, they're angled. I mean, this is how a foundation should look. And he got them angled like that. So yeah, it's honestly insanely simple too. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you how to do this. It's insanely simple. All you need is a foundation, a ramp. Get your ramp placed exactly like this. And then you're going to want to go ahead and do this as I do. And then you put your ladder on the foundation. Then you're going to want to get your metal spikes. And as you're on the ladder, go ahead and place them as far down as you can. That's the only way that it really works, but you get this weird snap point right here. And as you can see, it, for some odd reason, just does this. So yeah, it's very curved, it's very off-centered. I can't get it to work properly, so I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but it just does this really weird fence foundation. It can only be placed this way, like it can't be flipped or anything. So yeah, but as you can see, now you're able to just build walls. You can even build foundations, you know, attach foundations, and you can build multiple layers of this stuff too. It is definitely very interesting. I mean, look at this. This is... You can place sideways structures and stuff. Not structures, but like, you know, indie forges. It's insane. It's literally insane. I mean, look at this thing. Indie Forge is completely sideways. And by the way, it's fully functioning. Everything works perfectly fine. It is definitely a very interesting idea for a base. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, up next, this is a very, very simple thing that not a lot of people do, but it's something that is just super simple to build. I figured that I would show it off. Again, this is more layering of your base, but this is in a much different way. As you can see, you have room to access the inner layer, which I like quite a bit, as you can access it. You know, you can fix it up, maybe add some hidden stuff in here, add some cryo fridges, because the cryo fridges actually are pretty overpowered for just putting inside of walls. I know it sounds stupid, but they take a lot of C4 to take down. But yeah, so how to do this, it's really simple. Just get your foundation, place your foundation down, get your quarter wall. As you can see, boom, boom, done. That's literally it. That's the entire thing. I mean, it's incredibly simple to build. Let's go ahead and show you guys this really quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do these outer layers really quick. All right, so as you can see, we have this entire thing right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and build into the ground here. That way people cannot access them. Now let's go ahead and get our cryo fridges. I mean, hypothetically, because cryo fridges are pretty powerful for just health. Okay, actually, yes, this is a pretty expensive idea for, you know, layering your base, but it's not a bad idea. All right, so let's go ahead and take this down. 1, 2, 3, boom. Still left with that bottom one. Let's get that out of there. As you can see, these are barely even damaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Got rid of all of that, but you still have these cryo ones. And look, this thing just takes hits. I mean, you can cryo layer, and I mean, what? That's 10 C4 already. It's not even halfway. 5 more down. 5 more down. That took 25 C4 plus the 3 on the wall on the outside. Now we gotta do the inner wall. So what? That was about 30. That was about 30 C4 just to get into the base. That's not bad at all. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, and for our next one, this is one that is super simple that a lot of people do use, but I figured I would go ahead and show it in here. And this is how to stack refrigerators and vaults, because if you know already, you can't do that. For example, let me just show you. Place that, but you cannot stack. There's no way to stack any of these. So let me show you exactly how to do that. So as you can see here, it's built with some pillars, and these pillars, basically specifically these ones, give it the ability to allow stacking. Because I guess these just count as like a foundation source for vaults and refrigerators, I guess, and just honestly anything can be put here. So yeah, and then it works for vaults as well. Let's kind of show you guys. It stacks them very flushly too. They're nice and flush with the layers. There's no gap in between it, and you're able to access them both from the ground. It's nice and easy. So let's go ahead and build this really quick. So let's do the 4. Let's go ahead and build your walls like this, 2 high. Go ahead and do your pillars in between. By the way, it has to be the big pillars, otherwise it will not place properly. But let's go ahead and do this side first. Let's do a couple. And by the way, these are snapped. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do some vaults over here in this corner. All right. Now you're going to have to unsnap them for this to work. And as you can see, you can just place them right up here. It is a little tricky on some of them. Like that one doesn't really want to sit. Yeah, that one doesn't want to sit. I think it's just because it's sitting in the middle. Okay, no, I mean, I got it to fit. I mean, look how nice that looks. It's nice and flush, super simple. Let's do it with the refrigerators. Refrigerators are tricky in some areas too. And by the way, if you turn on snapping, never mind, that doesn't work. But yeah, it's like some of the times these pillars do kind of get in the way, so it's gonna happen every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, nice and flush other than that one. But yeah, it's honestly super simple, nice and easy. So anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully I was able to teach you something new with just how to build, you know, some base defense items, or honestly just how to do a new tutorial just for building or layering. Yeah, anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.